Water signs, welcome to your monthly tarot forecast. We're taking a look at the month of May and what energies that you folks can expect to see. I'm doing things backwards, so Cancer, y'all are accustomed to going first when it comes to being a water sign. Pisces, you're going first, and Scorpio, you're always going to be in the middle. We love you still, okay, but I will see Scorpio and Cancer after I take care of Pisces, okay? So Pisces, I've already shuffled and laid out your cards. I'm doing a Celtic cross for all of you this month. Pisces, you have the Five of Wands, which is like a tension that nobody's acknowledging, and sometimes there's some sparring matches, possibly some verbal sparring matches, possibly some passive-aggressive behavior seen around the house, and I'll talk about why it's around the house, for instance, in a minute. But there's something under the surface that needs to be dealt with when things are kind of boiling over, trying to boil over. But I feel like you're kind of keeping a tight lid on it. I don't feel like you necessarily want people to know about this because it's kind of embarrassing. It's secretive. Like you're supposed to be the cute family that has everything all together. And you know that that's a lie because if people just saw how things were behind closed doors, they wouldn't like it, and you wouldn't like their response to seeing how things really are. It would feel like airing out your dirty laundry. In the past, you've got the Page of Cups. There is some degree of emotional maturity. Maybe you went into a romantic partnership and things were they were fun. They were sunshine and roses. It was a pleasant surprise for you. I feel like because it's in the upright position, you went in with an honest heart, like you were excited for this. You approached the relationship with a deal of affection and looking forward to the relationship. Like, I don't feel like there were ulterior motives when it came to like, oh, I just wanted sex, for instance. I don't get that feeling at all, or I just wanted money. Not at all, not at all. And yet, wherever things are, why things are now, I don't have the specific details, but somehow, dropping cards, there's some rough tension underneath that nobody wants to deal with because it kind of busts the myth that things were started out happy. They did, honestly they did, but you want to continue to project the image that things are still happy, and it's not the healthiest place to be. Sometimes being vulnerable to the right people, by the way, is one of the coolest things you can do for yourself and for others, because they get to see they don't have it all together, and they're being upfront and honest about it. If they can do that, why shouldn't I do that too? That builds community, and again, you have to do that with the right people. If you do that with people who don't like you, who are happy to see you go through rough periods in life, don't touch them. Don't talk about this with any of them, okay? I see you continuing to work with this particular partnership. Who you have at home, it's possible that you have a home business, for instance, and if that doesn't resonate, you're still working on a day-to-day basis with them. I don't know, doing laundry, doing dishes, cooking food, that kind of thing. You exist with them, and I see that there is, because it's in the upright position, that there is some degree of y'all wanting this to work. Like, does it resonate for me to say with you that y'all still want the best for each other, even when things aren't on the up and up? There is a boiling tension underneath. It's kind of interesting. You've got water energy in the past, and then you've got fire energy in the future. That suggests to me just a little bit of volatility in the sense that there's an unbalanced nature. Not that there's any violence per se. There may not be a speck of violence, and there may not even be any verbal fights that you guys have. But is there like a passive-aggressive tone to some of the things that you guys say to each other? Yeah, I feel like there is. You guys are definitely projecting an image of being grounded and being showing off a working unit, if you will, when that isn't the case at all. Now, what has fallen on the floor and what I'm about to pick up is the Ten of Cups, and it is upright. It wasn't reversed when it came out of the deck, so I'm going to leave it that way. But that's subconsciously what you and what they want. This is a united front that you have. It's possible that you guys are discovering after, falling in love at the very beginning that there are some flaws that maybe neither one of you are accounting for, seen right here. And you guys still want a cool, happy family. This is the Ten of Cups. Subconsciously, you guys want this. I'll get into later in just a bit why that may not be possible. Take it as it resonates. That may not be possible with this person. In any case, I see you, Pisces, as being quite the Queen of Cups, and this is awesome energy to be in. It's not in reverse, where you might have issues with boundaries, that you become a reflection of the other person without being your own individual. It's upright, which tells me that you are deeply compassionate while still maintaining your own boundaries. Not so much, says Spirit. It's a struggle right now, okay, with that Five of Wands in reverse, that it's a little bit of a struggle. You're still a deeply loving, compassionate person, and if your intuition is telling you something about this relationship, you really need to listen to it, because you're one of the most intuitive signs, or you're being symbolized by one of the most intuitive tarot cards in the whole deck. So, what I was saying earlier about this possibly not being the right relationship for you, and take that with a grain of salt and as it resonates. You've got the Devil in your advice card. This is quite possibly you repeating patterns that you have no business repeating. It's possible that you are repeating patterns from a previous romantic relationship that you did not completely sort out before you started a new one. He's being very hot, he's being very seductive, but make no mistake, he is the Devil, and he's got that particular person in the corner by some puppet strings, and he's offering that same deal to you, and it's up to you here with the Queen of Cups whether you're going to take this offer or not. And of course, no one wants to willingly take an offer from the Devil. No one wants to willingly repeat patterns. They want to stay in what's comfortable. Let's be honest, okay? And Pisces, I can see that of you. You sometimes do want to stay in what's comfortable, and let's be honest, who doesn't? It's kind of rare to find a person who's like, yeah, I'm always going to go for that new situation. It's kind of rare. It's rare to find the nomad. It's rare to find the person always going from relationship to relationship, and sometimes that kind of behavior isn't healthy. It's about finding moderation, and I'm wondering, Pisces, if finding moderation in your boundaries with this individual, finding moderation when it comes to habits that you repeat across romantic relationships isn't key. There might be some habits that are quite good and others that are not. I'm getting the word defensive, that you might be really defensive towards your partner when it comes to talking about these flaws. And that might be where some of that Five of Wands energy appears. Now, this is in your environment card, which is about being in a state of hopefulness and relying on the universe, also in a healing type of moment. So this kind of relationship might be quite healing for you. It might give you a sense of hope, but I'm still coming back to this Devil. Can you use the Star and the healing that you find in the Star to break those chains that you see here in the Devil card and become an even stronger version of the Queen of Cups? This is in your future position, by the way, if I didn't already say that. The Star is your environment. The Page of Wands is in your hopes and your fears, and starting something new, continuing to notice, have some self-awareness about the habits that you've brought in from other relationships is going to be key to becoming your newest self and working on yourself. This is literally about taking action. Doing a self-work project on yourself might be the best thing that you can do for yourself, not just for this romantic relationship. I can see how it could be really disorienting and really uncomfortable if you were to do that. But I can also see how you really want to do this too. It's in your hopes position, just like it's in your fears position. Last and not least, you have the Seven of Wands. This is about confrontation with people that you weren't expecting to have confrontation with. With that Queen of Cups, there is the sense that you're going to be able to maintain your inner justi and inner peace, inner calm, if you will, while people are attacking you, possibly out of nowhere, people that you weren't expecting to attack you, and also out of nowhere. Your Queen of Cups can probably have some degree of compassion for these people as they're raging at you. But again, with this Devil, I'm wondering if you don't need to bring your other queens into balance. And by that, I mean, can you bring in out a little bit of your Queen of Swords in the sense that you can cut some people off and say, you don't belong in my life anymore. I have deep compassion for me, but this cup that the Queen of Swords has is not for others who don't see you as this kind of cool person. You know, a lot of people mistake kindness for weakness, and those kinds of people have no business being in your life. Also, the Queen of Wands is about someone who takes action, but has a deep sense of intuition, and again, a deep sense of love and compassion as well. And also Queen of Pentacles. Can you take deep self-care of yourself in the material, the physical world, just like you do of others? It's about keeping those queens in balance and not just having the characteristics of one queen, if you will. And I understand that I might be speaking to someone who identifies as feminine when it comes to gender, but I need to say that there is no gender in tarot. I could just as easily be speaking to someone who identifies as masculine. You still need to have your masculine and feminine traits in balance with each other. And I might be speaking to someone who identifies as non-binary. There needs to be a balance between the softer and the harder aspects that we all, regardless of gender, need to have in order to go through this life as best as we possibly can. So, hold things together. Break old habits from romantic partnerships. There might be some exes coming out from the past that want to attack you for up-leveling yourself. I don't have the Judgment card here, but if you can let go of the Devil, you've already done a whole lot more work than a lot of people will ever do in their lifetime. So, possibly this relationship needs to be held together, or no, maybe not. Y'all need to take this as it resonates, okay? Your Queen of Cups will be able to say, this isn't working out, and it's not just because of me, it's because this person doesn't appreciate me, doesn't love me the way I deserve to be loved. Okay? You might have to defend yourself from people that you weren't expecting, and yet, Pisces, that seems to be a strength that you folks need to work on, is creating healthy boundaries between yourself and other people. That is your monthly tarot forecast for the month of May. I hope that you guys have a great month. Please take care and move forward into your best self. See ya. Scorpio, welcome. I have already shuffled your cards for you, and I've already laid them out into a Celtic cross formation. For your first card and central theme, you have the Seven of Bells, and that's the Seven of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. Someone's stealing from you while you're having a good time. And there's someone in the background who is quite possibly warning you about this as you dance across the stage. One of your backup dancers is saying you need to pay attention to what's going on here. The individual here who's cutting off the bells on your skirt, on your costume, is hiding their face. So you may not be aware that this is happening, in the sense that, you're not aware that this is happening. You're being warned from another part of the stage. But you might not be aware of who is stealing from you, who's taking something from you. And they may be deliberately hiding their face. They may be saying one thing, and they may be doing something else. This is unfortunately somebody whom you've had a romantic partnership with, or whom you've at least created a found family, a chosen family with. These are people that you thought you deeply connected with, and I'm wondering if this connection wasn't entirely destructive But from the outset, it looked lovely. It looked wonderful. It felt good to you. But I wonder if your partner, or if you're polyamorous, if not one of your partners, is taking from you in some fashion. With bells, that's about using our voice. That's in alignment with the sword suite. So that's about saying something or thinking something, definitely saying something against you. So they might say some lovely, wonderful things to your face, but then behind your back, they're being awful to you. And it might be that they're cheating. If not emotionally cheating, then physically cheating. And it's possible that they're telling stuff to their cheating, with the person that they're cheating with. They might be telling secrets about you that you are deeply protective of. In your conscious position, you have the Four of Vials, which is the Four of Cups. And it's interesting, I saw that Pisces was also getting this particular card in their deck, in their spread, I should say. This is about quite possibly choosing deliberately to ignore signals, ignore warnings from other people about this person who's stealing, who might be cheating on you, okay? And it's interesting that I said that this dancer in the corner is warning this dancer in the foreground about what's going on. I feel like that you possibly have been warned about this particular individual, and it's possible that you ignored their warnings, because how could anything possibly go wrong? This felt so good in the past. This card appears in the past. They are definitely taking advantage of you now. Empress. This is the nurturer in this particular deck, but also known as the Empress. You are a deeply nurturing individual, and it's quite possible that you're ignoring these warnings because you want to see the best in everyone, including in your partner, who appears to be, if not cheating on you, is taking something from you that they have no right to take. They're not asking permission. They're hiding their face from you while they do it. Deeply destructive Empress, you deserve better than them. You deserve to be treated better than they are treating you. You deserve to be loved. Admonish this individual. Punish them. Maybe not literally punish them, like beating them or anything like that. Definitely not. I don't promote that at all. But admonish them and say, I gave you my heart. I trusted you, and you threw that away, and didn't just throw it away. You spit in my face, and you managed to do it behind my back too. You don't deserve me. You don't deserve to be in my life. Be the energy of the Scorpios. Scorpios are incredibly affectionate and trusting of people that who prove themselves to be trustworthy. But Scorpios, I have found, can be deeply vengeful if those lines are crossed. Scorpio, you need to get back into that energy, and you need to remember who you are. Just because you have a kind, loving heart does not mean that everybody has easy access to it all the time. It's possible that if you continue to trust this person who is taking away something from you, if not cheating on you, then you're going to be in a position where you have to accept charity, like you have no choice. And you might not be in a position necessarily to give back immediately. Like you might have to take for a while. You might be in a place where you need help, like from a food bank, that you might need help from, like shelter services. If you continue to allow this partner to take from you, you might be in a bad way enough that you need to accept charity from people. This is the Six of Pentacles traditionally, but it's the Six of Tomes in this case. Upright, it shows a figure who is enjoying free library books from one of those little birdhouse library things that you'll see around in some places. But in reverse, this is you requiring help to get out of this situation. So this is absolutely the kind of thing where you need to leave now, end things now, or they will get worse. This is your advice card. This is about ending the party, putting out the lights, dousing the campfire, and ending things. This isn't a party worth celebrating. I'm kind of getting the mood from the Lovers in the sense that this is something that you've been celebrating for a while, and behind your back, this character has been a piece of shit to you. You need to end the party. You need to end things. You need to let things go. And in your environment card, you have the Tower. It's in reverse. That tells me that if you can pay attention to the signs and get into the aspect of the Empress that is about water energy, intuition, knowing that something's headed your way, and to flow with that energy, you're going to need to end things. And it's going to be rough. It will displace the foundation that you had built up with this person. I should say that this is something that has been a long time coming. From the point that you met this person and started being attracted to them, falling in love with them, even getting a house together with them, getting an apartment together with them, this was something that should not have been built up, that needs to come down, that shouldn't have been built up in the first place. But now, I should say, if you avoid tearing down this building and allowing the foundation to crumble, the universe will do it for you, and it will be far rougher than if you had done it yourself. You need to leave. You need to end this situation, and you need to accept assistance. Ideally, I would like to see you, Scorpio, in the position of not having to accept assistance, although you might be in a position where now you will have to, because this was not a relationship that should have been built. This tower should not have been raised. I'm sorry. I wish I had better news for you. In hopes and fears, you have the Nine of Vials, which is the traditional Nine of Cups. This could make you deeply unhappy, and you're afraid of being deeply unhappy. It's possible that you've been through rough relationships like this one before, and you just wanted one that made you feel good. I can see with the Lovers that you just wanted to feel good, and you're afraid of that being ruined. It's better you know the truth. It's better that you act on the truth now and move forward towards your best and highest self, and that you start to say, I've lost these particular vials. That does not mean that they will always be lost. I can gather other vials. I can gather other cups, if you will. I can gather new emotional experiences that will help me, that will become new memories, new better memories than what you have right here. And I don't know if I said, this is the traditional Four of Wands, the Four of Candles in this particular case. For me, that sometimes indicates a divorce or a breakup, quite literally in the romantic sense. Take that as it resonates. In the outcome position, you have the Nine of Bells or the Nine of Wands. This is feeling a deep sense of anxiety. You don't have to be in this mindset, but I'm seeing that with the Four of Candles in reverse, the Six of Tomes in reverse, and now here with the Nine of Bells, thinking about ending this is already bringing you deep anxiety because you don't want this to be true. You wanted this to be a healthy, good relationship for you to be in. You might have been through rough relationships, and you want this to be the reward, so to speak, for having gone through these rough relationships. And yet you still need to let this person go. They are not good for you. They are destructive as hell. With that Seven of Bells. I'm going to close out this reading for y'all with 3 cards. You have the Ten of Vials, the Ten of Cups. No kids in this one, just a happy throuple. I spoke to polyamory earlier, and I spoke to cheating earlier. You can cheat while being in polyamorous relationships. If a boundary that has been crossed when there were firm boundaries before, that's cheating. You can cheat in a polyamorous relationship. This is about the Six of Vials. There's something about what your ancestors have said that will help you a great deal towards bringing you towards this Ten of Vials kind of energy. If you can pay attention to what your ancestors have said, or even people alive still in your life who have a great deal of wisdom, who know how to handle this type of situation, You can come into this Five of Swords, Five of Bells energy, and it's in reverse. This is where those bells come back to the people who had to let them go to this figure in the middle who is stealing from them. You can come back to this energy where you can reclaim your voice, reclaim your thinking process too, your thought process too, from this individual who is stealing from you right now. You can reclaim that and have those bells back. You can have your voice back. But Scorpio, you have to do the work. You have to end things now on your own terms, or the universe will end it for you, and it will be much rougher. Scorpio, that was your monthly tarot forecast for the month of May. I wish you healing. I wish you a strong path forward towards your best self, and I hope that you take care of yourself first and foremost. Best of luck to you. Cancer, welcome to your reading. I have here for you in your central theme, I've done a Celtic cross for you folks. You've got the High Priestess, very watery energy. Look at the water flowing over her lap, all around her too. Some people are going to be allowed in past the veil behind her, and other people will not. She's lifting one leg and the other leg is stretched out in front. Both is kind of like, welcome. But if you do the wrong things, if you believe the wrong things, if you say the wrong things to me, I will block you. I've got no problem blocking you. Great energy for you to be in, Cancer, honestly, because in your past, I see the Three of Swords, and this is a really interesting card. This is an interesting version of the Three of Swords. In that picture, is that individual who's been stabbed, is he being comforted by his friend, or is his friend stabbing him? I love the ambiguity in this card. You have it in reverse, which tells me that you have healed to a point where you are in the High Priestess energy, extremely intuitive. Badass place for you to be as a water sign, Cancer. But you got there because you went through a really rough situation, possibly a breakup with a romantic partner that you weren't expecting to break up from. It's possible that you thought that this was your forever person, and the lesson that you learned, the broken heart that you got from the situation, how you healed from it, has transformed you into the High Priestess. Excellent energy. Great job, dude. That's hard to do, and a lot of people just become bitter and closed off and go into worse romantic relationships after they're betrayed like that. Mad respect to you, Cancer. Up top, in the conscious position above the High Priestess, you have the Ten of Wands. Burdens melting off. You can see clearly, I can imagine, with that High Priestess energy. You can see clearly, and sometimes it is still a weight to carry around, being able to see how people function on a clear level. That's hard because a lot of people are shitty, let's just be honest. And when you have that realization, it kind of makes you wonder, where is a safe place to be? Who are safe people to confide in order to be around? Who isn't going to betray me? Is a question that you might be asking as the High Priestess. But she's all about questions and not necessarily about answering them right away. She is comfortable with ambiguity. And Cancer, that might be exactly the position that you're in right now. You're comfortable with ambiguity in a way that a lot of other people aren't. That's a strength, and you should treasure it. Subconsciously, with the High Priestess, you're still feeling your way through some sticky situations when it comes to words that your ex-partner said. You might not have left the community that you and your partner were in together, and so you still have to navigate some of the rumors, some of the things that were said about you. Now, in this particular picture, she is chained to this rooster. Now, the rooster is sacred in this particular image, but she's still chained to it. I see you as being free. You are free to let loose your voice now, but will you? In Cancer, you might not, because keeping the peace, especially in a family-type atmosphere, I can see how that's going to be both a strength and a weakness for you. People might mistake your kindness for weakness, and your willingness to hold your tongue about things that your ex-partner did and said that might be a struggle for you. You want to talk, but at the same time, you don't want to, because keeping the peace is something that is important to you. In your future position, you have the Two of Cups. So in the future, as a reward for your hard work, the universe might possibly be bringing you, if not a romantic relationship, a person that you can confide in, who has honest intentions, I should say, who is willing to give just as they are willing to receive from you. Not take, receive from you. It's a cool, equal, fair relationship that you might really like to be in. It's like a best friend, for instance. If it's not romantic, this might be chosen family, for instance. It might just be one chosen family member, but one is better than none. And someone who's that cool, of course, that's awesome. In your advice position, you have the Page of Swords. So you're not necessarily expecting this to come your way. You're not looking for this Two of Cups relationship. This old relationship that you ended, or that was ended by the universe, might have been so painful that you're not looking around for a new relationship at all. And yet I see that in the future the universe is going to offer one to you. It's going to be up to you to decide whether you should take it or not. In your environment card, you have the King of Wands. There's something that you're not taking action on. This is fire on fire energy. This is about taking action without necessarily thinking too hard or feeling too much or being grounded in how you behave, for instance. And this is sitting back for a bit, hanging out, watching how things going on, and then choosing to act. So it's not entirely a bad card to have, but there are some times when you need to surge forward and get something accomplished. There is a need for this for the character and the attributes seen in this card. It's not always a bad thing to be fire on fire. We need people in our lives who can just surge forward, but not necessarily for you. Sitting back and thinking and watching and having care for the animals? Are you in charge of animals, Cancer? Pets from the previous relationship that you're now taking care of. Quite possibly that might be you. There's some care that you need to take when it comes to the animals in your care from your previous relationship, if that resonates, because it might be that your ex takes them back, and it might be that your ex has a worse environment for those pets, or even for those children, if you have children, minors, that you know that they couldn't provide the environment that you can as a Cancer. And as a Cancer, you're going to be one of the best people in the zodiac to provide a loving, stable, warm family home for fur children or human children. And your ex might be the kind of person to take that from you. Sitting back, surveying the situation is key. In your hopes and fears, you're afraid of relationships going bad again. This is the Lovers, and it's in reverse. You're afraid of things. You're afraid of another breakup like this, and that might be why you're not looking for a new relationship, and that might be why you're avoiding a new relationship with that Page of Swords in reverse. That's not just about not seeing a new relationship coming in from the distance, which might kind of clash with your High Priestess aspect. You might be shutting down this aspect of yourself that is intuitive, that says, there's a new opportunity, there's a new relationship on the horizon that I need to look out for and welcome into my life, because you're afraid of getting hurt again. This is something that needs to be dealt in therapy. My readings are not a substitute for a good therapy session or a good relationship with your therapist if 1 or 2 or 3 sessions doesn't take care of it for you. You need to get into therapy and heal even more from this romantic partnership, as much healing as you've already done. Because the Three of Swords appears here at all, I'm wondering if that isn't still very much in your memories, if you're still not very sore from this having happened. If you're still heart sore, therapy in conjunction with tarot and other kinds of divination will be great for you, okay? Last and not least, in your outcome, you have the Empress, and she's in reverse. Upright, she's a deeply powerful, very much in charge. You see how she's holding out that wand? She's perfectly aware of what she's doing, where she is, and who she is been charged with the protection of. She knows perfectly well why she exists here on planet Earth. And that's the energy that you need to be in as well, because right now she's in reverse. And it's interesting because the Empress is the flip side of the coin for the High Priestess. So you're definitely in this stage of being withdrawn, being mysterious. It's still a good position for you to be in, but Cancer, I'm wondering if there isn't some part of that flip side of the coin that you need to embody. Can you bring all your queens into balance? That's the Queen of Pentacles, of Wands, of Cups, and of Swords. In balance, she would be flipped upright. But I'm wondering if you aren't leaning mostly on keeping yourself safe. That would kind of be in alignment with that Earth energy seen in the Pentacles. That's about not wanting to move forward into anything too hasty. And Cancer, that's not always a bad place to be, but when you come into stagnancy with that card, that's when we have an issue. There are no queens that appeared in this particular reading. You do have a king, you do have a page. But other than that, I don't see any queens. And that kind of suggests to me that you are very much in the energy of watching things happen. And that's not a bad thing to do. But can you bring the watching in accordance with doing? If you can use the Page of Swords energy and welcome in that new relationship seen in the Two of Cups, you will have conquered something big and you will have become the Empress in the best way imaginable. I should note that she is pregnant, and that's kind of where you might have children. There might be a pregnancy in your future with this Two of Cups relationship, and this might be, if you don't already have children, this might be the kind of thing that you want. Maybe you want to have a baby with a future partner, and I suspect now with the Page of Swords you don't want that at all right now, but in the future that might be something that the universe really guides you toward, and you need to keep an open heart towards it. Cool. Pisces. Let's pull 3 cards from the bottom of the deck. You have the Five of Swords, fighting for something. You have the Ten of Cups, I should say, fighting for a happy family, doing the work after having gone through a huge fight in order to get to that happy family, even if you don't necessarily look for it right now. And it feels like that with you avoiding a romantic relationship in the future, that you're avoiding the end of an era that needs to come to an end. Don't run away from death. She will catch up to you. The universe will see to it. And you don't want to miss out on an opportunity that the universe wants to bring to you. Ideally, you should be welcoming her in just as she's welcoming you in. She's got kind of not a blasé expression, but she's just kind of got an expectant expression on her face saying, you knew this was going to happen. Why don't you just welcome it in? Don't run away from this. Allow this end of an era to happen. Move forward from the pain and hurt that you've gotten from this previous relationship and move into a happy family that perhaps you weren't looking for. It's possible that this previous relationship, you felt like it's over. A family, romantic partner is not for me. And I'm just going to stay in the state of being isolated and just watching the world go by. That's a state of stagnancy that the universe does not want you in. Cancer, I hope that you have a great month of May. Take care.